breathing. I opened up his pupils to make sure his pupils were good. They were normal. Okay. He was kind of moving around a little bit, like he was kind of disoriented. And I kept saying, "Hey, I'm a nurse. My name's Brandy. Can I help you?" No response. Kind of just kept moving around a little bit.
While she was on the ground, I was surveying the area. One of the things I want to mention, I believe you said he always had 2 phones on him.
Yes.
Three. He had 3. Oh, 3.
Yes, 3.
He had a this is what I thought was suspicious, is there was his wallet and his phone. There was about $15 in cash, like, laid out like this, as if to show this wasn't a robbery. It looked like someone set it there, like all nice.
Y'all, the Davis family is standing on the investigation's neck when it comes to exactly what happened to Tyrone Davis. And because of the pressure they have been applying, we are getting new, unbelievable updates every day, especially concerning the girlfriend Lulu, who they actually suspect did something to him. Guess what? New eyewitnesses have come forward with critical information about what happened the night he was found under a bridge. A nurse, Brandy, and her husband, who happened to be driving by, say they stopped their vehicle, blocked traffic, and did everything they could to help Tyrone while waiting for emergency responders.
Place is down that way.
Right.
That's the important thing I wanted to relate. They should not have been
Yeah. coming
that way
And the
with fresh
hotel is
food.
this way.
And their hotel was over here.
Yes.
So they were coming back, which didn't make sense with that story. But we thought,
Thank you.
Apparently, Tyrone's girlfriend, Lulu, also known as Kiara, returned to the scene later and did not appear agitated or concerned. Also, the biggest red flag of all is the police work, or the lack thereof. I mean, how does a busy road in Gainesville have no footage because the cameras only catch red light jumpers? In 2026? Come on. Something is just not adding up, and Tyrone's family is determined to get to the bottom of things. Did the argument turn physical inside the car? Was Tyrone struck with something before he exited the vehicle?
I said, let me ask you a question. Did you talk to the police? He said, I gave them my number. I gave the detectives and the police on the scene, and they never called to this day. They told the Davis family, we've been reaching out to him, but we couldn't get an answer. They also said that they wanted answers.
This is my cousin daddy, y'all.
But here's where it gets interesting. Tyrone's mom, Renee Jennings, has reportedly been much more protective of Lulu. While the Davis side is screaming foul play, the Jennings side has been seen as more willing to accept Lulu's version of events or, at the very least, hasn't joined the public protests against her. It's been whispered that the mother's side mentioned Tyrone had been drinking or that there was a physical altercation where he may have been the aggressor. Rumor even has it that Lulu allegedly took a private lie detector test and passed, which some family members on the maternal side supposedly cited as a reason to stop the public attacks. Y'all, it's crazy, but let's break it down. Now, as per official reports, the police said they were called to an area near a highway overpass on December 27th to respond to a report of an injured person. Then, after some investigation, detectives determined that a man sustained significant injuries to his head after jumping out of a moving car, and he died a few days later in the hospital. Based on what they said, they didn't find anything suspicious, but after careful analysis, it appears that things are not adding up, especially since a nurse named Brandy and her husband, who were among the first to find Tyrone on the road when they were driving at approximately 5:02 p.m., saw a body in the road, gave their account of what they saw. So, on the day of the incident, Brandy, being a nurse, immediately stopped to help Tyrone, and she said that when she found him, he had a pulse and was breathing, his pupils were normal, and he was moving slightly but appeared disoriented and non-responsive. However, according to her and the husband, some things never made sense. First of all, the scene was already super suspicious, as the couple noted that Tyrone's wallet and phone were placed neatly nearby, with $15 in cash laid out as if to show it wasn't a robbery. Who does that? If you jump out of a car in a fit of rage, you aren't making sure your Hamiltons and Lincolns are neatly displayed for the next passerby. It honestly feels like a scene from a movie where someone is trying way too hard to prove this wasn't a robbery. In addition, fresh food, pizza, and wings was scattered or placed near him, which they found odd given the direction the couple was supposedly traveling. Brandy's husband also claimed Lulu arrived about 2 minutes before the ambulance, and they described her as showing no concern for Tyrone, and instead, she seemed focused on getting her story straight. Think about it. If they just left Papa John's, why were they heading in the opposite direction of their hotel? And the timeline is a total mess. Lulu says she was waiting for him at a Circle K for 5 minutes, but the witnesses say she didn't show up until the very end, right before the ambulance took him away as a John Doe. If that's your soulmate and you just had a blowout argument where he leaped into traffic, are you really going to sit at a gas station for 5 minutes and then calmly pull up to the scene with no concern in your voice? Where is the screaming? Where is the crying?
Like that, you come up and you're like, oh my God, what happened? Is he okay? I was up at the gas station. I was waiting for him. I sure hope he's okay. That's why I wanted to talk to you guys. She showed up to give her story to make sure it was set straight. It was not like, where is he? Is he okay? I'll be in there with it. It was nothing. I was nothing like that.
No concern.
There was no concern on her at all. And I told that to the police at the moment, and
Yes, and here's the thing. January 6th, Gainesville, Gilchrist. No, Gainesville, I'm targeting just y'all.
These are exactly the kind of questions Tyrone's family has been asking. His aunt Tasha and his father, particularly, expressed deep skepticism regarding the official story that Tyrone jumped from a moving vehicle. They said that Tyrone had planned a romantic Christmas getaway at a cabin, but somehow ended up under a bridge with severe blunt force trauma to the back of his head. They said Tyrone was found in a tank top and pants, but had no road rash or significant scratches consistent with jumping from a moving car. Tasha even said, "We're not getting answers. We got lies and more lies. 3 different stories. So we're here today because we want to take a stand. We want to fight for what happened to him. We didn't accuse. We asked for answers. But because of the lies, we feel like it was an unaliving." As far as the stories they received, the family said they were initially told that Tyrone slipped and fell at a gas station, but hospital staff members later told them his injuries weren't caused by a fall. The family also learned that Tyrone was admitted to the hospital as a John Doe, and they weren't notified about his admission until the day after the accident. Something else is that the family claims that the first witness on the scene was never contacted by detectives, despite providing his information. And they also argued that the scene should have been treated as a crime scene with yellow tape immediately, rather than accepting the story at face value. A close friend also highlighted that Tyrone was a professional truck driver with a CDL, and he would have known the lethal consequences of jumping from a moving vehicle and would not have done it. Now, as for whether the family and friends suspect Lulu, baby, yes they do. And they even mentioned past DV issues, alleging that Lulu had been arrested in Miami for jumping on Tyrone in the past. Basically, this is the theory that makes sense to a lot of people. Tyrone and Lulu may have gotten in an argument at Papa John's or while leaving Papa John's, and maybe he asked to get out of the car or she told him to get out. Then as he was getting out with the food, his phone, and putting his wallet in his pocket, Lulu sped off while he was partially in the vehicle, and he struck the back of his head on the pavement. She sees him fall and continues to the Circle K to have a view of if he gets up, but he doesn't, and Lulu is scared because she caused it and returns to the scene to cover her behind and also see if he's okay. Well, in case you are wondering, Lulu has also spoken up about all the hate she has been getting, and she released a post through her friends saying, "This has been the most heartbreaking thing that I've ever been through. It has been extremely difficult, overwhelming, confusing, and emotional dealing with everything that came from the situation while trying to grieve the love of my life and process him not being here with me anymore. When we were nothing short of inseparable, I would never do anything to harm him or would want him to lose his life. I have lost a major part of me, losing him. Social media was never my thing. It was Tyrone's. My first thought is not to address anything online, and even when I did, I really didn't know what to say because I am lost. And those who really know us know us. We were not perfect, but we were literally made for each other. We had our whole life planned together. For those asking, I've been providing my account of everything that happened since the beginning to both sides of Tyrone Davis's family. The dad's side, the Davis family, and his mom's side, the Jennings family. Notice that only one side of his family is spreading hateful, negative things that they know Tyrone would not allow nor respect. As much as I want to explain my innocence out of love for my man that I still cannot believe is not here to do life with me, there is currently an active investigation underway. Out of respect for this process, I will refrain from making any more public statements until the investigation is complete. To everyone who has witnessed our love, whether publicly or personally, and who has chosen to stand with me, thank you. Your support means the world, and it's what I need right now. I just ask that you all allow the detectives to do their job and stop with the accusations. The truth will come out in due time. You know, for me, the sad part is how Tyrone's family appears divided. And like I said, Tyrone's mom and that side of the family has kind of spoken in support of Lulu, so I really really don't know what's happening here. I mean, don't they have the same questions people have? Like if Tyrone jumped from a moving vehicle as alleged, why was his body devoid of the typical road rash, scrapes, or severe skin trauma associated with hitting asphalt at high speed? Why were his wallet and phone found neatly staged with cash laid out as if to intentionally disprove a robbery motive? Why was the couple traveling in the opposite direction of their hotel with fresh, unopened food right after an alleged blowout argument? Why did Lulu wait several minutes at a nearby gas station before returning to the scene? And why did witnesses describe her demeanor as cold and unconcerned rather than frantic? Furthermore, why have detectives reportedly failed to contact the very first witnesses who arrived on the scene? And how is it possible that a busy intersection in 2026 has no surveillance footage available? Anywho, Aunt Tasha mentioned that they tried to reach out to Renee, the mom, to plan the funeral together, but it fell apart because the Davis family made one strict demand. Lulu cannot attend the funeral. When the mom reportedly insisted that Lulu was coming, the communication lines completely snapped. Honestly, it creates this heartbreaking dynamic where one side of the family is holding a protest on the bridge, while the other side is essentially telling them to let it go. It makes you wonder, does the mom know something the rest of the family doesn't? Or is she just trying to protect her son's memory from a messy public investigation? Well, I think we are going to find out the truth eventually, but meanwhile, let me know what your thoughts are about this case in the comments section below.